Welcome to the Craftsman Cafe interview series. I'm here with Sara McKinnon and Junior Martinez, who is they're the group, or the team, I should say, behind the Timothy OTooles pub group. And we're here to talk a little bit about their history in the restaurant business, their Libertyville location, and just really get to know them. So let's just jump right in and get started, guys. Thank you very much for taking the time to get together and being open to this. It's very nice of you to with three groups going, three places going. I know you're quite busy. So let's start from the beginning. How'd you get in the restaurant biz?
I'll let you start on that one, and then I'll follow.
Well, mine's a long story. I mean, my dad opened up his first place when I was 5 years old in Mexico. So by default, I kind of just hung out there a lot.
Okay.
And it happened to be near the school where I went to kindergarten. So that kind of transgressed. When we moved to the States, he opened up his first place here when I was about 11. Spent a lot of time there as well. Hung out with the chef. It's just something that I like to do.
So you brought.
And obviously my dad liked the cheap free labor, so that always that was good for him. But just everything about it, it was something that was in my blood. And then my dad was always in the restaurant business in one way or another. I got lucky, started consulting at an early age, and then my dad and I teamed up in 1988 and opened up our first little family restaurant in Evanston.
Oh, wow.
And then in '92, opened up the first OTooles in Chicago together. We did, and that was kind of it. We consulted on many in between there, and owned a few, sold a few. Right now it's Chicago, Gurnee, and Libertyville will be the third one.
That's great.
In the OTooles group.
So in '92 you opened up Chicago.
Yes.
What was the were you guys married at that time?
No, we were business partners.
We weren't even dating.
Oh,
No.
really?
No.
So how'd you meet then? Just give me the short story.
I'll let you do that one.
Okay, so the short story of that is, so I've been in the business since I was, in my teens as well, and worked at some places in Libertyville in the area, and then moved downtown Chicago and went to school down there, and then also was commuting back here to work in the restaurant business as I was living in the city. And then I thought, this is getting really old, and decided to start looking downtown. Well, my friends and I popped into Timothy OTooles, which had only been open for I think 2 months at that time. And it was very quiet in there. There wasn't a lot going on.
Same location, sir?
Same location. And this guy walks in the door, and we just started talking. I said, you need some help here. You need to do this. And I started pointing out some things. And he said, are you looking for a job by any chance? So 2 weeks later, I was working there. He hired me as the general manager. And I really put all of my effort and time into building that business. Probably 3-4 months later, we worked so well together that we decided that we were then going to start another company, which was our consulting business. And we started doing some consulting for other places, and in the meantime we were building up the OTooles downtown. So we did that for probably 2 years. We spent probably 90 hours a week together working just as partners. And then a couple of years later, I think just because we spent so much time together, we just became a couple.
Yeah, that's great. Great story. Great story.
Yes.
So you owned OTooles at the time, Junior?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And who the hell is Timothy O'Toole?
That's just a name. It was just a concept that was come up. It wasn't come up by me. It's a woman named Meredith Bratt designed the original logo. We don't use it as much anymore. It's more of a kind of Irish guy sleep, as we say on the bar.
Okay.
That's their whole did a politically incorrect
I have
series.
relatives like that.
Yes.
Saying, well, it's politically incorrect. You're saying the Irish guy is, and you're saying he's drunk on the bar. I said, no, I'm just saying the guy's tired, he's sleeping. I said, I don't know what's politically incorrect about it. But anyway, we've gone to a couple of logos since then. She created the name, the logo, and
Well, that's great.
she takes all the credit for that, and we just kind of bought it.
So what led you to Gurnee? I mean, you guys have had a great run. I mean, I've been down to your place in Chicago a few times, especially when I lived in the city.
Sure.
I lived all over the city, and then of course you start having babies, and
Yes.
and you go to the burbs.
And that's exactly what happened with us also.
Really?
Is we decided to leave the city, move up north. We started a family, and probably 8 years after we moved here, we started looking in the area for another location.
Okay.
We happened to be driving by here one day and saw the for lease sign, and I thought, wow, why not? You know, Gurnee is so full of change. They
Right.
really need a place that is their Gurnee's kind of go-to, their neighborhood establishment.
Right.
So, geez, that was in January. We opened the doors March 6th. So we came in here and
That's fast.
we went full force. Yeah, we did. It was, we were in here probably 18 hours a day. Mhm.
Well, you've had a great run here, and hope there's to many more, right? But
Absolutely.
what about Libertyville? How did you? Was it a similar situation where you just, you know, Libertyville? You grew up in Libertyville. You graduated LHS.
I did.
All right, cool.
I think that is a similar situation. The first place she took me to in Libertyville was Mickey Finn's.
Okay.
Way back when, first time I met her parents. So, you know, we just kind of watched what was going on, and we got introduced to someone that mentioned that Mickey Finn's. We knew for some time they were moving. We didn't know the whole story that was going on. So, what a great spot for Timothy OTooles. Kind of a similar thing, family run, independent.
Yep.
Similar in theory, not necessarily everything we do, but we like their concept. Figured it's a great spot to come in and take a shot at it. You know, they did a great job. Mickey Finn's is well known. We figured that's something that I think we can come in and tweak it to kind of suit our needs, the way we do it. We're definitely different, and we thought that Libertyville would embrace some of the changes that we want to bring to town.
It sounds like some of the changes are this gastro pub angle, if you will, for lack of a better term. Talk a little bit about that, because I saw some of the menu items that you have, and it's really intriguing and very interesting. I'm looking forward to eating there. How is it different than what you have here in Gurnee? Or talk a little bit about the concept and as it
In
relates to
Chicago, sure.
putting it in front of the Libertyville people.
Well, for a couple of reasons. One, Corey's been with us for many years. He took a short hiatus to go and explore other things. He's back, and he's extremely creative. And so what people don't know about Timothy OTooles is, although our regular menu is pretty basic pub fare, we make everything in-house. We chop, we dice, all the dressings, all made in-house. And Corey does these amazing specials on the weekends. So we thought, well, Libertyville is a pretty savvy little town. There's already Mickey Finn's menu is more similar to Timothy OToole's menu. And we thought, well, if we're going to go into Libertyville, we need to have a slightly different angle on our cuisine. So we opted for Gastropub, opted to change our name from just Timothy OToole's Pub to OTooles of Libertyville, which would then kind of tell people that it's the same family, but slightly different. So we're going a little bit more chef-driven, a little bit more, of course, focused heavily on the craft cocktails and craft beers as well.
One of the things I definitely want to interject with that, as Sara mentioned, Chicago, we don't deviate from the menu very much. We run some specials, and we run for about a month. We're just too busy, and the kitchen's too small. Here in Gurnee, we have specials, different specials every weekend, and Corey comes up with them based on the fish, game, he'll do board, different things that he finds.
Wow.
Our kitchen here can handle that. So seeing that, we sell out every weekend. Libertyville would be a perfect place to kind of expand on that and roll some of those items onto the regular menu. But we want to keep our great selling items. We're not going to deviate from what we do as far as burgers, award-winning wings, things along the lines that people come and expect.
Right.
We want to be approachable to everyone. We're extremely family-friendly at this location. We want to make sure we carry that over to Libertyville because they're such a family-oriented community. We don't want them to come in and see us as only a special occasion destination.
Right.
We want to be just like Birkin or Finn's or anybody else, but allows people so many options to be, I don't know, I guess a little more adventurous. Kind of what Birkin did when they first came into town. Their menu definitely stood out.
Yeah, they do. They do.
And
Absolutely.
I guess, for lack of a better term, we like the direction they went in, and it's been proven to work. Now we want to take it to the next level. Kind of what Lee's doing over at Milwaukee Trace. Somewhere in between. We want to fit in between where people have the options, but we want to be a little bit more just day to day.
Yep, got it. Are you going to be open for lunch?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right, great. And 7 days a week?
7 days a week.
And tell me a little bit about the beer. It sounds like you 48 beer.
48
Tap
beers.
40
Yep.
taps in Chicago. We just added more taps here. We're up to 38 here in Gurnee. It's just kind of our mainstay. We've always been very beer-centric, and we kind of follow the patterns of the customer's approachability, and they've grown. It's a tremendous change in the past 5-6 years, and we've been able to be at the forefront of it. We just had the tapping for Bourbon County Stout down in Chicago for Goose Island.
Yeah, I saw the line around Vinny's.
Yes, we did Founders when they were named Best Beer in the World. We did the release for them this past year, and we just got notification that we're doing it again for them in 2015. And it's just things like that. Our buyer downtown, Tony Smith, who does all our beers, he got asked to go to Lagunitas out in Petaluma, California,
Nice.
and collaborate on a beer. They brewed it. It's called Fusion 43. It's done fantastic. It's really a good beer. So we're really involved. It's just not a matter of buying it. We
Yeah,
understand it. We
You're
follow
partnering with
it.
them, right?
Yes, I mean, we basically, for lack of a term, we bleed it.
Well,
Yeah.
sure. We've spent years cultivating the relationship with the different breweries, and we're lucky enough here in Gurnee to get beers that other places in Lake County are just simply not able to get because of the relationships that we've built.
How does that, I mean, does it come through the distributor though?
Yes,
It
it
has,
does.
it has to come
It
through the
has
distributor.
to.
You can't go direct from the.
No,
Yeah.
but the brewers assign the beer.
Okay,
For
that's
instance,
how they
not
do it.
everyone.
Okay.
And that's the interesting thing. People come up here and say, wait a minute, how do you get 3 Floyds on tap? How do you get some of these beers that aren't available to anyone else in the area? And these are long-term relationships. We're talking 15 years for
Yeah.
me on some of them. And it's just the acceptability. When we opened Gurnee, people thought we were crazy. Like, you're opening something that they viewed us as a chain. They really did.
Yeah.
Like something that what everybody else is doing, Chili's and Applebee's, we're not.
Oh, geez, yeah.
You know, we don't ever freeze. Our burgers aren't frozen. Our chicken's not frozen. Our chicken's natural. So many little things that we never piggybacked and put it on the menu. People we thought would know, and they did. They knew that our food was different, and our beer program. They thought we were absolutely nuts that Gurnee would not support the beer program. I said, they were just basically telling us we're close to the Wisconsin border. There are more Miller-like drinkers. Like, I don't believe that.
Yeah, no.
And boy, have they proven us wrong.
What a change. You guys are just ahead of the curve.
Oh,
That's
this
awesome.
area,
Which is
and
great.
they're so supportive, and they
Well,
know
even
their
this past
product.
Friday night, we did the release
It was
here
crazy.
at this location for the Bourbon County as well. And the phone didn't stop ringing all day long, people asking
And there's
about
just
it.
not enough product to go around. We were promised certain amounts, and when the delivery showed up, we're like, where's the rest of the beer? Like, that's all you're getting. We had to fight to get something called the Proprietor's Stout, which was the hardest to find, and we got a case, and we thought we were getting 3 like last year. So just the people that lined up, we weren't even able to satisfy the demand.
Oh, wow.
So
Well, isn't that part of their deal? I mean, with the breweries?
It is. It's
Creating
so
that
tough.
exclusivity and all that
I
stuff.
just hate to
Which is-
disappoint people.
Yeah. But, we got 47 other beers on tap.
That's right, that's
They
right.
are, but they become collectors' items.
So are you a craft brew fan? I mean, what's your
Yes.
favorite drink?
I am a huge craft beer fan.
What's your
It's
your
the most popular
go-to?
style. I'm an IPA drinker because I just like hops, and I'd say if I could get it every day, I'd drink Zombie Dust by 3 Floyds. But Lagunitas, IPA, I mean, there's so many Two Brothers, and I can go on and on.
Yeah.
That's my problem. And I sit down and however many handles there are, I think it's a mission for me to try them all. But,
And how about
just
you,
love
Sarah?
I definitely appreciate them. I love both food, wine, beers, and I love to taste things and to figure out what has built it, the flavors behind it. So I really enjoyed that part of it. They're heavy, so I can't drink a lot of them, but I definitely
I try.
appreciate
Yeah,
them.
And it shows.
I should,
It
but-
shows.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the pairing thing, because I saw that you have a 101 class.
We
that
do.
you
We do
and
a
you're gonna
lot
bring
of
that to Libertyville.
101s, and we do them with everything. We do them with beer. We do them with wine. We do them in the summertime. We'll do summer cocktails or margaritas, scotches, you name it. Basically, we do whatever our customers are interested in at that time. And we'll bring in people and we'll allow them to sample 5 or 6 different items. Some of them, if they're cocktails, really interesting specialty cocktails that we will make. Sometimes they even make them themselves, where we give them little kits
Oh, yeah.
with the ingredients. They get to shake them up and make them themselves. And then we do little small plates to pair with the items.
Chef
Oh, that's
Corey
cool.
will come up with a menu that pairs with each cocktail and work together.
So Corey's going to lead Libertyville as
Yes,
well?
Correct.
yes.
Okay, great. I have to ask you, I don't know if your dad's still with us, but your dad's got to be really proud of you.
He's not around anymore, but
Sorry.
he got to see the original OTooles, and then when we opened up our first bistro in Evanston some time back, he didn't see this space, unfortunately, but that's definitely where I get my passion and my belief in the business. He's a people person.
Yeah.
If the best part, if I could just come in and literally socialize and shake hands and talk to people all day long, that's my favorite part of the business. And the friendships, and over 25 years, I have so many great memories, and to this day, people have come through here who now own and manage and have developed their own restaurants, bars, and everything else that have come through here. And we're also great friends, and
Yeah.
really enjoy what we
That's
do.
one of the cool things about the
It's
restaurant.
great.
It
I
is.
think in general, it's relationships are everything, right?
Sure.
But I just had to mention that because you talked about, growing up, and basically sounds like you were hanging out with your dad
Pretty much.
since you were, obviously, but in the business.
Yes.
So I'm sure he's quite proud of you and happy.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about what's happening. Everybody wants to know what's going on in Libertyville. People are looking in the
People
window.
are very curious, yes,
So
and
what's up with that?
confused.
We went in there guns blazing. I tell you, I think that we were going to get everything done pretty quickly, and
Thought it was going to be like Gurney, 2 months.
we did. Obviously, we thought it'd be a little bit more because
Right.
that was a gut job, and we got it down to the studs. Well, what happened is we had a partnership, and just a little. I don't want to call it a falling out. We just had a couple of things,
Yep,
little
hiccups.
hiccups.
Yep.
And we had to change some things, retrench, and that's kind of what we've done. We sat down, discussed what would be best for the establishment, for the venture moving forward, and we made some changes with the partnership, and we're moving forward.
Cool.
We have a great space, great landlord, a great concept, and we're excited to get it going and bring something to Libertyville that we hope they're going to love as much as our Chicago,
Yeah.
units done, and what Gurney, the people developed, how we developed it, and how they basically endorsed us here, and we'd like the same passion hopefully in
Yeah.
town.
Well, Libertyville is a great town, as you guys know.
Yes.
We support our restaurants pretty well,
Yes.
and I think a lot of people are really excited. You gutted the place. I did see on Facebook a beautiful bar that was in the. It looked like the Craftsman shop.
Correct.
Yes.
And is that? What are you thinking as far as time frame? We're looking at summer of 2015.
Oh, no,
maybe, or something?
our goal is to be completely up and running by St. Patrick's Day.
We're hoping.
Oh, really?
So that's
in a
our goal.
perfect world. In a perfect world. We're not
Okay.
gonna-
So really, everything's. You had a couple hiccups. It sounds like you're beyond those, and now you're rolling.
Right,
And,
and the good thing is that most of the planning we had already done. So our kitchen design is done. We have architects on some of the projects because we did go in and completely gut the bathrooms. So we have the plans in place. Now we just really need to get back in working into the space.
Yeah, that's great. Now I read a little bit about a walk-in cooler. I'm into this beer thing. So
Sure.
a walk-in cooler with packaged items. Is that
That's-
still up in the air? or-
That is up in the air now. We originally
Okay.
were coming up with that, and had a long discussion with our installer as far as our beer systems go. And he's got to get back in there and run some measurements. Some of it's how long we can draw those lines. So we're trying
Got
to
it.
figure it out, and if you can run them through both bars upstairs and on the main floor. So that's still to be determined. If he thinks it's not the best plan, we may have to make a change on that. In a perfect world, that is our original idea,
That's
but
great.
now till they get back in there.
Well, I hope it goes your way.
I'm
Yes.
hoping to.
The footprint is an interesting building.
Yes.
Is it pretty much totally different? I mean,
The footprint itself has not changed.
as far as where dining room will be.
Dining
and all that
room will
stuff?
be, that has not changed. There's very little we can do in
Yeah.
that area. Really, the only major change would be the bathrooms.
Okay.
The location going into the bathrooms now in the bar area opposed to the dining room.
Got it. Okay.
And the patio. I'd say, we're expanding the patio. So those are really the only two major changes as far as like the footprint of the place goes.
Well, one thing, fireplace outside, is that correct?
Yeah.
We're still working on that as well because we'd have to build a secondary wall attached to what we call the Arden's building. So that's still pending approval, but we'd like to get some kind of fireplace fire pit out there.
Right.
So that was just kind of a rendering that was done for us, not the approved footprint for the actual.
The heating. What comes to mind is I've always been pleasantly surprised or happy for, say, Casa Bonita.
Right.
Oh,
You're always at that
yes,
stoplight,
yes.
and I look over there and I
Yes.
see these heaters, and these people are
Absolutely.
outside
And the
dining
snowflakes, yeah.
today,
Yes,
or whatever.
yes.
Absolutely.
And it's just it's a great look.
No, they've done a
it's
great
great
job
feel.
there. Amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool. So what are your when you guys go out to eat? Where do you like to go eat? I mean, be it Chicago, Libertyville, wherever.
Well, we're big foodies. We
Yes,
like
we
to,
are.
yeah.
I suspected that.
So we pretty much hit all of like
You name
the
it.
hot spots, especially downtown Chicago, because we spend a lot of time down there as well. But we also love Libertyville. This past weekend, we went and checked out the PM Steakhouse in Highwood, which is a newer place.
Okay.
Took over the old Gabriel's. So we just try to hit up all different types of places.
Well, what's funny is that when we're living in the city, we're regulars at a few different places, and ever since we've left the city, we're regulars nowhere. We're regulars everywhere, I guess.
Yeah, right.
We pop in, but we kind of like trying different things. In Libertyville, primarily it seems like we're either at Shaku or at probably we stop at Finn's once in a while. Firkin's probably the most common spot in there, and once again because of the trap beer
We
selection.
do like Walkin Trace a lot also.
Mhm.
They're doing a nice job
We
over there.
try to get them in there for that
Our
brunch.
kids are foodies now also,
Are they?
so.
How old are your kids?
We have four.
4. Okay.
Yes, one's about to turn 13, and then 11, 9, and 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're right around the same. But they're
Okay.
foodies already.
Yes, oh
That's
my
great.
gosh, yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned brunch at Milwaukee Trace.
Mhm.
I haven't tried it yet, but man, it looks good.
It looks amazing.
Chef Corey said
Chef
it's
West.
fantastic.
Yeah, it's done really well. Do you have, speaking of Chicago and restaurant groups and being regulars everywhere, who are you do consulting, you said.
Yes.
Now, let me back up a little bit. Tell me a little bit about the consulting biz.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, pretty much the same thing. People come to us who are generally not doing well, or maybe haven't figured out certain aspects. We try not to get involved from day one in terms of that. We're more rescue consultants.
Oh, I see.
So people come to us when maybe their numbers aren't doing what they thought they were doing, or maybe they got in a little bit over their heads, and we'll kind of come in, restaff, remenu, whatever it takes, and get them back on the right path.
Is there a reality show in the making?
No. Ironically, we've been asked a couple of times.
Yes,
We've been asked
yes.
on 3 different occasions for reality shows. And
You have time for that, right?
Yeah.
well, we turn them all down because when you start reading through the contract and you talk to people done, you realize that their goal is obviously to create controversy and
Yeah.
Drama.
make it look a certain way. And
Not what we're
we
looking
work
for.
too hard to just
Yeah.
get past people thinking that
Right.
we're a serious establishment half the time versus a chain. Because a lot of people actually believe we're a chain.
I
And
wonder where that comes from. I mean, you don't have to research too
franchise,
much to
yeah.
know that you have a place in Chicago, you have one in Gurnee, and now you're doing Libertyville. It doesn't
Right.
really
It's
constitute a
fun.
chain. Who have your mentors been? Who are your sort of heroes? The Melmans, the Danny Myers,
Sure.
even Trotter. Who do you guys look up to, or who has been helpful to you, or?
You know what, there's a lot of people. Obviously, my father, for me, is my mentor and always has been. And his demeanor and style towards managing and running a restaurant. But we love to borrow, I guess. Because restaurateurs, truly, none of us are innovators. I don't know who came up with the Martini, the Manhattan, whose idea. People may take credit, but we all kind of take the best from each of us. There's Dirk Flanagan, when he started doing things downtown, and we opened up.
Gastropubs.
Doing gastropubs was the first one to bring it to town. We admire the things he did and went out on the limb. Sarah's a big fan of.
I just admire chefs in general.
Yeah.
I love learning about them and what inspires them. And because I appreciate food so much, I really love learning more about chefs and what drives them.
You like Jamie Oliver? I mean, you're
I
different.
do because we care a lot about the food that we make and healthy food and having as many organic items or natural items as we possibly can. In addition to this, we also have a catering business where we provide lunches for schools. And I started that about 6 years ago with my children's school because I wanted them to have healthier lunches. So we started providing the food for the entire school, and then it just kind of built up. And now we have all these schools knocking on our doors asking us to do their lunch program. And we work really hard at it. We work hard at trying to introduce kids to new and interesting ingredients and different cuisines, and also healthy, getting them to eat and choose healthy items.
But there's so many, as you said, you can look at Melman, you can look at the Levy's, and people that how they've done it, and there's so many that you just kind of, you have to give props for. They've done a great job.
Right. Sure.
You take the good and the bad, but lettuce definitely is an innovator. They've always done a great job, and how they continue to duplicate and go to all their places, and they all do a great job. And that's what we try to do. Try to make sure that we're different. Location will always be different. That's what we don't want to become this cookie cutter. But we definitely want to make sure that the quality is the same in all of them. You walk in, they're all clean. We show people that we actually care. Get back to the community. We're extremely involved in things we do as far as giving back. St. Jude's, Red Cross, Catholic Charities. We always try to find somebody in the community that needs some kind of help that we can use, whether it's by volume, customers coming through the door and collecting a quarter from everybody, to collecting lightly used shoes for Share Your Souls or whatever it may be. But we definitely want to give back. We don't want to just be here and feel that we're just looking to make money. Or, we love hiring locally. We love promoting locally, and that's what we try to do wherever we go. And it's worked great for us, knock on wood. We want to continue that everywhere
That's a
we go.
wonderful philosophy, man. I mean, you're part of the community, fabric of the community, so it just makes sense.
We try.
Well, thanks again, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to
Appreciate
meet you, and I'm
Pleasure.
Nice
I'll
meeting
be
you.
drinking at your spot. Trust
Thank
me.
you.
And eating. All right, George, we got it.